Okay, this video, what's it about? I'm going to do, there it is, right there, it just happened. We just rolled the new 2019 F-750, over 1,000 miles on the odometer, and that excites me. Why does it excite me? Because that's the break-in period. That is the period where they don't want you to labor the engine too much. They want you to just drive it pretty easy and let all the engine parts set and get settled in. And we just rolled over it, so that pretty much means we're free to really start working this truck. A few things I've learned in the first 1,000 miles. Let's just start at the ordering process. We bought the truck from Ken Wilson Ford in Canton, North Carolina, and we were told that the truck would arrive in 3 to 4 months. They were great to work with as far as speccing the truck out. Just about everything that we specced out was the way it should be, and the things that weren't, I can't honestly say, like a brake controller. You would think a truck this size and you tell them, you know, you want to be able to pull any kind of trailer there is, you know, it's going to come with all the plugs, the outlets, and it's going to come with a brake controller. Well, it doesn't, so that's something, if you order one, you're going to need to specify that you need an electric brake controller. Didn't come with glad hands at the back of the truck for an air brake trailer. I thought that would be self-explanatory. It wasn't. I can honestly say that the dealership intentionally didn't put that stuff on, knowing that it wasn't on paper. I can't say that. But all in all, you know, a good experience. The worst part of the ordering process was it actually took 6 months to get the truck. So that's 3 months longer than we planned. So we got a 2019 truck and we're knocking on 2020's front door. So that's no big deal, really. You know, it's just that it was aggravating because if you're planning on hiring somebody to run a truck for you, the truck needs to be there around the same time you hire somebody. Luckily, that's not the case for us. And that's not a dealership thing, apparently. That is a Ford thing. They're just backed up. This truck came from the plant in Ohio. Not sure which city up there. But that's pretty much all there was with the ordering. You know, it just took twice as long for the truck to get here, which kind of stinks. But it's okay. The truck got here. We got it in operation. The truck came in, and then it had to go to Florence, South Carolina to get the bed put on. And luckily, between the truck traveling to the dealership from Ohio to North Carolina and then going to South Carolina for the bed and back, it already had about 550 miles on it, so we only had to drive it about 450 miles easy, which didn't take long. You know, we did haul the excavator, and that was a pretty heavy load, but I didn't floorboard it, really push it. You know, I kept the gears low so it didn't overstrain it. And then I pretty much drove this truck like a pickup. It's actually easier to get around than a 4-door 350. It's a short truck, so it's about like driving a go-kart around for anybody that's used to driving a big rig. So, like today, to finish off the miles, or actually this week, I've just driven the truck everywhere I went, and I've used it for driving around to do estimates. I've drove it around for hauling gravel. The most I've hauled with gravel is 8.3 tons. No problem. It hauled that without any problem at all. It didn't even strain the engine. So legally, to have this truck tag, you know, if you tag them at 33,000, which is what they're rated at just for the truck and a load in the bed, you can actually put 9.1 tons in it. So 18,000 pounds, that's nothing to scoff at for a little bitty truck. And pleased with that. With the trailer and the excavator, it weighed 41,000 pounds. It pulled that great, no problem. You know, it did, you know, it worked it, but not overworking it. One thing I found out that I'm going to try to get fixed is if you turn the PTO on, it idles the truck up just a little bit. So when you go to raise the bed, it's got a little more power and the bed will move faster. It idles it up from 1,000 to, I think, or just under 1,000 to about 1,000, 1,100 on the RPMs. And you can push the pedal and it'll give you about 1,300 to 1,400 RPMs. So you really raise the bed up. The downside, it being an automatic, with that on, it won't pull itself empty up any kind of an incline if that PTO's on. The RPMs just won't get high enough to pull. So what I'm going to have to do is call the dealership and see if they can reprogram the computer and the PTO system to where it doesn't have that limiter in it. Now it may have that limiter in it because there's parts in the hydraulic system that would blow out, or it would harm them if we over rev it. So if that's the case, if I'm going on flat ground and I'm trying to raise, and I raise the bed up to spread a load of gravel, instead of, normally I'll raise the bed until I hear the load shift to the back. And then I'll start spreading, and as I spread the load, I raise the bed on up, so any that's toward the front of the bed will come out. Well, I can't do that the way it's set up right now. So what I'm gonna have to do is just raise the bed, if not all the way up, almost all the way up. That way I know my load comes out. And by that I mean I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to raise that bed up high and turn the PTO off. So I've got all the engine power and it'll rev as high as I want. And before anybody says, well, just put it down in first gear, it won't pull first gear, you know, at 1,400 RPMs. This truck really starts to pull, and its maximum horsepower is at 2,600 RPMs. So if I can't get them to turn it up to at least, I'd say 2,000 RPMs, we're just going to have to do it a little bit the hard way. And it's not going to be the end of the world. I'm not going to be ticked off about it, you know. That wasn't something that was told to me, and I actually found out the hard way. I was at the yard, had the trailer hooked up and the excavator, and I had flipped the PTO on to help the engine warm up that morning. And I forgot to turn it off, and I started to make that curve out and up the hill from the yard. And as soon as we made that turn, the truck just wouldn't go. And that's how I found out the hard way. Thank goodness I wasn't somewhere with a load of gravel, and I popped the tailgate and start up a hill, and it just stops. Because then I'm going to have a pile of gravel behind me and I can't back out. I have to call somebody to bring me my machine to spread. That would have ticked me off. I wouldn't have had anybody to be ticked off at, because who knows who to blame. No big deal. None of this is a big deal. I'm very pleased with this truck. I think it's going to make a great addition. But I did find out a couple of things the hard way, and that's just how it is, you know, when you don't have videos online of what you got, which there's no trucks on F-750s online that I could find that were helpful. So yeah, I would recommend this truck. I think for what it is, and I think as a tractor setup, I think you can take these things at like 50-something thousand pounds. I'm not positive about that, but that's just kind of a guess I'm coming up with from past experiences hauling. super comfortable. The air ride seats that come with it, I don't know if I could have specified any better. I told them I wanted both air ride seats, and the only adjustments they have is you got a manual knob that adjusts the recline, and they don't really recline that far back, but they are comfortable. And you got one air valve to raise it up and down so you kind of float, and then you got another air valve for one lumbar. It's got one big airbag along, I'd say from your shoulder blades down, that you can adjust for your lumbar, which is your spinal support. They're kind of a textured, I don't know if it's not leather, but it's kind of a plastic. But they've got a texture to them, so it's not a smooth rubber that's going to switch you really bad. But if you're hot-natured like me, you better be prepared to either put you a towel in the seat and over the back, or get you some seat covers that are cloth, which I'm going to do. I'm going to call the Ford place and see if they actually make seat covers specifically for these seats. Because I've just found in my life and career, I'm not real big on going the cheap route or that aftermarket. You know, I've found that I'm more pleased and happy if I just call and order what's made specifically for the application. So, seats are great. Even Emma likes them. We just dropped her off a little while ago, and at the beginning of the weekend, she didn't care nothing for riding in this truck. And I don't base all my critical decisions on a 5-year-old, but when she's with me, I care about her comfort. 2 days later, riding around in this truck, she's decided that she wants Orville to be her truck. This truck, she kind of switched over from Wilbur. This is a smooth ride. It's just like riding in it's like riding in an F-350. You know, I rode in an F-450 that was rougher riding than this. It's got kind of like progressive suspension. So you got, you know, your leaf springs, but then there's additional springs that aren't actually flexing and working until you get a load on this thing. So it's a great truck. I highly recommend these hood mirrors. They look good for the truck. They don't look like an aftermarket thing or an afterthought. They actually look good on the truck, in my opinion. The truck's a good looking truck. As far as now the emissions system, what I have found is that, and I read in the instruction manual, that when it goes to burn the particulate filter out, it needs you to stay at 30 miles per hour or above for anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, depending on the situation. And for me, that's kind of tough to do. Now, I'm 95% full right now on the exhaust filter. So it's going to hit full. I've got to put about an hour ride home. So it's going to hit full, and I'm going to be running 65 miles an hour. It's going to really blow it out, and it should clean it completely. But as far as what I do is a lot of local gravel hauls. So it's a lot of going from a dead stop up to about 45 miles an hour and just fluctuating constantly, up and down, up and down. It's rare that I stay on the road for long. You know, if I get on the interstate, I'm usually on at 10 minutes and I'm right back on the back road. So I'm going to kind of experiment with it and see if it's worth, when the exhaust filter is full, just going ahead and jump up, waiting, you know, telling it not to regen, and then jump on the interstate and tell it to, you know, burn the filter out, and then just stay on the interstate until it's done. Or if it just is better to do my regular running, just don't even pay attention to it, because I noticed the other day it went through one regen in 1,000 miles. So really it's going to have to do 2 regens every 1,000 miles. It started a regen at like 750 miles, and I think because I didn't maintain that 30 miles per hour, and it said in the book that if you can't maintain 30 miles per hour, that it won't burn it out as good. And sure enough, it only burned it out down to 40%, and then it started filling back up. So it says that it's a system that does not require any driver input. It will regen itself as it needs to, but I'm gonna experiment with it. That way I can tell people in future videos, this is the best way to do it. Now, it can go through a regen where if your parts, you crank it up, it says exhaust filter full, and it'll say clean exhaust filter, yes or no, wire in, yes or no, and you can do a parts regen. That may be the best way to go. I'm gonna play around with it and experiment, but my understanding is, as far as damage to the truck, it's not going to do damage to the truck if you do it any certain way. So there you go. That's all I can really add about the exhaust filter system right now, no more than I've experienced it. Now, the climate control in this thing is pretty blame basic. You've got the frost, you know, dash in your feet. The air conditioner will freeze you out of here, and the heater works great. I would say this is just comparable to an F-450 dump truck with F-350 comfort and ride. It's super quiet in here. You can sit right next to each other. You're pretty close with the dual air ride seats, and you can have a conversation and never really like have to yell. The only reason I'm talking a little louder now is because I know I'm facing this way and I want you guys to be able to hear me. So yeah, the exhaust brake, so-so, you know. An exhaust brake on anything is not the greatest thing in the world. It's not, you know, really gonna hold you back, but every little bit helps. It'd be really cool if Ford would give an actual engine brake option on these things. That would be awesome. I'd like to see that. It's certainly something I would pay for. I got this truck with air brakes. You can get them with hydraulic brakes. I don't recommend that. I've driven trucks with hydraulic brakes, and I really didn't like it. I don't like to say that I hate anything, because that's just negative, and I try to be a positive, optimistic person. But the fact of the matter is, air brakes are better than hydraulic brakes. And you can count on them. If you start to run out of air, or you blow a tank, it's gonna lock this sucker up, and you're gonna stop. So that's pretty much all I've got to really add about this thing. You can get the electric cart, air tailgate, which I love, because Wilbur, my old 1985 L9000 dump truck, you could forget it having any kind of comfort or amenities. I had to flip 3 switches to get the air conditioner to work. So if that tells you anything, this is just a whole different world and a step up all around. So as of right now, 1,000 miles, I recommend the truck. I think it's a great one. And that's just based on what I've experienced so far. If somebody was just forcing me to tell them, would you get it again or not, I would. But I would have ordered it way ahead of time if I known it was going to take 6 months to get a truck in. So hopefully this video helps you guys, helps you make a decision whether this is something for you and your company. Drop me a like, comment any questions down below, and we'll look forward to you guys on the next video. Y'all have a great day.